There are certain sci-fi TV shows that everyone should watch at least once. It's always a gamble to get into a sci-fi show that isn't over yet, because you might get invested in mysteries that never get resolved if the series is cancelled prematurely. But completed sci-fi shows like Twin Peaks and The X-Files have all the answers you're looking for. 10. Battlestar Galactica. Katie Sackhoff as Starbuck looking tough in Battlestar Galactica. The reboot of Battlestar Galactica is a sci-fi masterpiece that everyone, fans of the genre and non-fans alike, needs to watch, because its themes go beyond the realm of science fiction. It's a quintessential work of military sci-fi that chronicles the war between the human race and the evil Cylons. This 2000s reimagining captured the zeitgeist in the early days of the War on Terror. The themes of humanity creating its own enemies and getting stuck in an endless cycle of warfare really spoke to that post-9/11 mindset. But since it's a sci-fi allegory, it's timeless. Those themes are still poignant today, in the midst of entirely different real-world conflicts. 9. Firefly. Firefly 2002 main cast. It may have only run for one season before being cancelled, but Firefly is one of the greatest sci-fi shows ever made. It has some of the most inspired world-building in genre television. It's a western set on a lawless post-war frontier, except it takes place in the distant future and the war happened in outer space, and it's carried by a lovable ensemble. Nathan Fillion leads the cast as the roguish captain of the Serenity, but he has strong support from the likes of Gina Torres, Alan Tudyk, Morena Baccarin, and Summer Glau, each playing compelling, three-dimensional, human characters in this crazy cosmic world. Since Firefly only ran for 14 episodes, it's a nice, breezy watch. You can binge the whole thing in a weekend. 8. The Expanse. Holden looking perturbed in The Expanse. The Expanse is one of the most underrated sci-fi epics on TV. It takes place in a future in which the human race has colonized the solar system. The series revolves around a ragtag group of protagonists who unwittingly stumble upon a conspiracy that could destabilize the galaxy, and reluctantly set out to maintain the peace. Despite having a TV budget, this show has some jaw-dropping cosmic visuals. But that space opera aesthetic is just the gravy on top of poignant character development and razor-sharp political themes. The Expanse had a strange lifetime. It aired 3 seasons on SYFY before being cancelled, then got picked up by Amazon for another 3 seasons. 7. Orphan Black. Tatiana Maslany as Sarah Manning on the phone in the opening scene of Orphan Black Episode 1. Very few shows are able to get viewers hooked as quickly as Orphan Black. In the first couple of minutes, a drifter witnesses the death of a woman who's her exact double. She then steals this woman's identity and unwittingly stumbles into a conspiracy involving a shady cloning operation and a network of secret handlers. Orphan Black deserves the hype, because its mystery plot is fully engaging, but it's not the real focus of the series. Above all, this is a story about sisterhood. It's heartwarming to see these scientific abominations come together as a loving, supportive found family. It's also a poignant thematic exploration of identity and individuality. 6. Andia. Diego Luna in Andia. To call Andia the best Star Wars series is doing it a disservice, because it goes far beyond that. Andia is one of the greatest TV shows ever made, period, and it deals with a lot of timely themes. It goes back to show how the rebellion got started, before Luke Skywalker came along, when the odds were stacked against them. Seeing the Empire turn a democracy into a dictatorship, deploy troops to harass its civilians, and push people to the brink of resistance, feels hauntingly relevant today. Andia explores the devastating cost of revolution. A lot of unsung heroes had to make the ultimate sacrifice before Luke could come along and blow up the Death Star. 5. The X-Files. Mulder, David Duchovny, and Scully, Gillian Anderson, staring at the camera in The X-Files. Chris Carter came up with an ingenious twist on the typical case of the week procedural for The X-Files. The series follows a pair of FBI agents to and from their various investigations, but they don't investigate any ordinary crimes. They investigate paranormal activity, UFO sightings, and supernatural phenomena. It's a perfect blend of buddy cop crime procedural and mind-bending science fiction. But as much fun as the gimmick of that premise is, what really makes The X-Files a must-see is the central dynamic between agents Mulder and Scully. Mulder fully believes in ghosts and aliens, but Scully is a skeptic. Their ideological differences fuel the romantic tension that'll keep you engaged with this iconic duo through the entire series. 4. Cowboy Bebop. Spike with a gun in Cowboy Bebop Episode 1. The anime classic Cowboy Bebop is a curious blend of genres. It's pure science fiction, an intergalactic adventure series about bounty hunters chasing their bounties across the cosmos, but it also has the gunslinging antiheroes and lawlessness of a western and the moody investigations and saxophone score of a detective noir. It's a cinematic vision like no other. The show ran for 26 episodes and there isn't a single dud in the lot. It tells a complete story from beginning to end. It starts off with a crime syndicate on the bebop's tail, it tells a touching story of found family in the middle, and it culminates in a final stand against the syndicate. It's a near-flawless sci-fi epic. 3. Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks Season 1, Episode 3, Zen, or The Skill to Catch a Killer. David Lynch and Mark Frost's cult classic Twin Peaks doesn't conform to any one genre. It's dressed up as a small-town soap opera about the melodramatic lives of an ensemble of colorful characters. But it also has supernatural elements, with a portal to another dimension on the outskirts of town, and it's a police procedural revolving around a baffling murder investigation. It's a surrealist horror mystery, but there's also an undercurrent of science fiction in Dale Cooper's quest to make some kind of sense of Laura Palmer's murder. Whatever it is, it's gripping television. Twin Peaks is full of lovable characters, deeply unsettling imagery, and captivating storylines involving both interpersonal drama and demonic intervention. 2. Star Trek. Leonard Nimoy as Spock on the bridge in Star Trek Original Series. Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek has become such a far-reaching franchise that it can be tough for newcomers to figure out where to start. There are decades worth of TV shows and movies to catch up on. But if you only watch one piece of Star Trek media, go back and watch the original 60s series that started it all. During a time of geopolitical strife, Roddenberry imagined an optimistic future in which all of humanity, people of all races, creeds, and nationalities, came together to explore the cosmos. Star Trek's special effects might be a bit dated, but the social commentary and emotional storytelling of episodes like The City on the Edge of Forever still hold up today. When Rod Serling was struggling to get politically charged scripts past the censors and advertisers who controlled television in the late 1950s, he came up with a novel way to tell his political stories without ruffling any feathers. Serling created The Twilight Zone to allegorize contemporary issues like McCarthyism and the civil rights